All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone, tells us truth, and who will. Almighty Shalom to the brothers teaching week in and week out, prophesying the downfall of Esau, Edom, as well as a deliverance of the Israelites and hopeful elect. Another mighty shalom to the hopeful elect out there on the folk of the earth, doing their best, stay rooted in this faith, with this lesson. The title of the lesson is going to be Reserve Yourself into the Kingdom. So I'm going to start off pretty much going into, let's see what we'll start off with, because I got some precepts in mind. We can start with Matthew 7. This is Matthew 7 and 13. Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So this is the point of this whole lesson, Enter in at the strait gate. The reason why I want to bring out to the lesson, because going through the strait gate is also reserving yourself, And I'm going to those words, the words reserve and straight, But going through the strait gate, you're afflicting yourself, or you're going through affliction or a position of difficulty. While going through the broad, is not reserving yourself, being comfortable in this place, having too much fun, in this place. And the broad also goes into doing, not afflicting yourself, like I said, going through comfort. Let me get these words to further back up my lesson. Reserve. It says keep back and store for future use. It says withhold, set aside, preserve, this right here. It says self-imposed restraint on freedom of words or actions, and that's exactly what we're doing in this truth, We're reserving ourselves, and restraining ourselves on the freedom of this place, Because that's what the Lord wants us to do. You're not supposed to be like these people in the world, going each and every way, to every doctrine, being overly happy in this place, and not going through a position of difficulty, trying to better yourself. Let's get this word straight, because it's going to further prove my point. It says severely restricted, austere, and that's exactly how we got to be, in this truth, We got to be severely restricted, because this place is not our rest, You're not supposed to be partying every week. You're not supposed to be overly drinking. You're supposed to restrain yourself, from the cares of this world, the joys of this world, because our world is the one to come, when Yahweh Shai comes back. Let's get some more precepts. I'm going to get to Romans 8. The reason I want to get Romans 8, because let's get this. It's going to bring my point out. Romans 8 and 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. And it's not worthy to be compared, Because on the other side, we're going to be, we're going to be perfect through Yahweh Shai. We're going to have the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts, We're going to have new bodies. We're going to be able to live forever. But on this side, to achieve that, we must restrain ourselves, from these worldly cares, that our flesh earnestly wants, Yeah, so right now we're this suffering, we're going through sufferings, because, we wouldn't necessarily be suffering if we wasn't going through the straight gate, going through that straight gate is a form of suffering, because we see what our friends and families, doing on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes we might want to do these things, but we must sacrifice, our happiness some days, We must sacrifice what we want to do, on a day-to-day basis, to enter that right path, to go forward in that right path. Let's see what else we got. Is that Acts 14? Was it 22? Let's see what that say. No, that's not what I want. Let's see what else we could get. It's Luke 9 and 33. Let us go into the straight gate again. This is what I want. How did I get this? Salakia. So I make sure I get all these precepts that I wrote down. Probably mixed in a lesson with that. Let's see what Isaiah 55 say. Yeah, I probably mixed in 2 lessons together on this. Salakia. Let's get that Luke 14. I know what that is. This is Luke 14 and 33. It says, so likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he have, he cannot be my disciple. And what you have, is the life that you used to live. It's like I brought up before, the things that you want to do, the things that you used to do, before you learned this truth, whether it be whatever you want to do in the flesh, partying, drinking, smoking, either got to put that completely away, or you have to reserve yourself, or you have to put that, pretty much limit yourself. Let's get that word, limit. That Micah 2 as well. This is the word limit. It says boundary. It says a threshold. It says restrict within limits. To bound. Yeah, so that's exactly what we're doing, right now. What we must do. We must restrict ourselves. We must bound ourselves, to be obedient to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and not be like the world, not going to the left or to the right, but walking forward, towards the straight gate, Yeah, this definition right here, the third, when it says a point or level beyond which something does not or may not extend or pass. So we can't do too much. We must, in a sense, become stoic. And not the opposite. I forgot the exact word of the opposite of stoicism. Give me 1 second. That's not what I'm looking for. Start at E. Epicurean. Got you. Cause this is what the people of this world is. They're Epicureans. It says, to get in here. It says pleasure loving, one devoted to pleasure. Let's see if it says anything else. Yeah, it says especially that derived from fine food and drink. This places in our rest. And that's exactly what I'm going to get now. This is Micah 2:10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sure destruction. So this place, can make you comfortable. And comfortable could destroy you. Being comfortable in the place can destroy you, because that means you're at ease. But when you're going through straits, when you're not comfortable, you're more aware, And that's what the Lord wants us to be. He wants to be more aware of our surroundings. He wants us to be more circumspect in our lives and what's around us, So we must depart from this place, spiritually, and physically by your actions, You must restrict yourself, and that's the whole point of this lesson. We must restrict ourselves, to be able to enter into the kingdom, Because if you're not changing your ways, even though that it may take time, with certain things, but if you're not changing your ways, the Lord is not going to see you fit for the kingdom, on the first go around, because he likened us into, let's get that. He likened the ones to find gold, but the ones that's pretty much when gold get melted down or any other substance like that or metal, to make sure it's fully pure, he wants to see his image. He wants us formed, in his image, That's what I want right here. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2:5. It says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in furnace of adversity. So that's part of going through the straits. Reserving yourself or restricting yourself is a form of adversity. Because you're going against your flesh, you're going against your nature in a sense. So it is going to be hard some days. Most days, it's hard. And that's the 100% truth. But as long as you keep fighting and keep working towards that goal, you keep walking up that mountain, the Lord, He's going to be happy with you, Because He see you working. He see you working towards your goal. And He see you working towards what He wants you to be. That new man. I believe it was probably one more preset I want to get. But let's see. I don't know why I did that. I ended up mixing two lessons together right there. 2:17. Yeah, this is 2 Corinthians 6 and verse 2. It says, wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. So we must come out of this place. We must remain, we must become separate, from this place, become holy, Don't touch these things out here, that's unclean, and the Lord gonna receive you. To pretty much break that scripture down, So the whole point of this lesson, Akim, this was Aquat, whoever may be listening. Reserve yourself, restrict yourself, go through the straits, Don't shy away from it, because that's what the Lord wants you to do. That's our reasonable service, sacrifice, our lives, and in return, we're gonna be in the everlasting kingdom, where nobody, everlasting happiness, everlasting rest, this pure happiness underneath Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So, Lord willing, this lesson, I hope this lesson was edifying. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostle that was a great millstone. Mighty shalom to the Akim as well as the Aquav out there. Shalom, shalom, Kwame Yasharella, and the Baba Ba too.